Hey, welcome back to At the Table. We've got some tasty recipes going on today using our Instant Pot, which is an electric pressure cooker. If you're familiar with the Instant Pot or any type of electric pressure cooker, they are definitely a great way for you to save time in the kitchen. And I am all about saving time. I like 30 minutes or less in the kitchen when I'm making meals, and you can definitely achieve that with an electric pressure cooker. So we are going to start off, we have a recipe from the American Heart Association's Instant and Healthy Cookbook, and it is a cheesy chicken artichoke risotto. And we have made this in our electric pressure cooker workshops that we host here at the Cooperative Extension office. And this was one of my favorite recipes. So we're going to make that one with you guys today. We also have a Med House salad, which is from our Med Instead of Meds website and program that we have. So we're going to get started with our cheesy chicken artichoke recipe, just because that takes a little bit longer. So with our Instant Pot, we are going to go ahead and start with the Saute feature. Now on an Instant Pot, you have a lot of different features on the front. The main two that I use are going to be just the manual pressure cooker setting, and then the Saute feature are those are the only two buttons I've ever really used on my electric pressure cooker, but there are a ton of different things that you can do with this. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on. I'm just going to press Saute, and it pops up with your time. We're going to bump it up just to make sure we have plenty of time, and then you just let it go and it'll start rolling. So I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to our Instant Pot here. And that's telling me, hey, it's on, it's going to start heating up. So I didn't add a ton, I just wanted a little bit to start heating up and really coat the bottom of that pot. And this is all stainless steel, so it gets hot really fast and then it stays hot, which is really great. So we're going to get that warmed up, and then we're going to add our chicken. Now for our chicken, this is typically boneless chicken breasts that you're going to use, that you're going to flatten them down really, really thin. Today I have chicken tenderloins. It's what we had here at our extension office. I had it frozen, left over from another meal. So I thawed it overnight and it is ready to go. So anything you have on hand is fine. Chicken breasts or chicken tenderloins are really a good option just because they are going to be lower in fat versus your dark meat chicken, which is going to be higher in fat. So we want to start off with a white meat part of our chicken. So we've got that going. Let's see if we're getting warm yet. We're gonna go ahead and throw it in. We're not gonna, it doesn't need to be in here for that long. So I'm just gonna throw in our chicken, and you're just wanting that to brown really nicely. And you'll probably start to hear it sizzling here in just a few minutes. So we do offer, we call them cooking under pressure. They are electric pressure cooking workshops at our extension office, and it's all hands-on. So unfortunately with the pandemic right now, we are not able to be as hands-on with those workshops, but we do have one happening virtually, and that is going to be in October. So check out our website and you can see that electric pressure cooker workshop that's going to be happening. So we're going to let that cook, brown, and we're going to go ahead and start on our shallots. So we have 2 shallots here, and these are just like tiny onions. They have really good flavor. I've went ahead and taken the outer exterior peeling off, but we're just going to cut off the end. And then same as your typical onion where you have your hair on one side, we just want to chop this up finely. That hair helps to make it so it's not quite as fragrant. It's supposed to help you not cry as much. However, I still cry every time. So it can still affect you, but it's supposed to make it a little bit less than it typically would be. So I'm just cutting it long ways. So cutting it in half, and then I'm just chopping it the opposite direction. Watching those fingers, you can hear our chicken going. And you just want this chopped up nice and finely. And then we're gonna throw this in with our chicken in just a minute too. All right. So I'm gonna finish this up and then we'll join you guys back in just a minute.
Introducing the Star Communications app. All the tools you need in one convenient location. You can access Watch TV everywhere. Check local channel lineup. Check your Star email. View and pay your Star bill. Report troubles. Use your Star security app. Check your home voicemail. Sign up for Crowd Fiber. Check your Wi-Fi speed. The list keeps going and going. Download for free from the App Store or Google Play.
Hey, welcome back. So we have our chicken all complete. You want to let this cook for about 4 to 6 minutes, just browning on all sides. And it's got really pretty color. Like I said, these were chicken tenderloins, so they were very thin as it is. It doesn't take long for those to cook anyways. And then it's going to cook a little bit further when we actually pressure cook as well. So you don't need to really cook it all the way through yet. You just want to give it that nice color and get it started. So let me make sure I get all this chicken out. And then we are actually going to move on and put our onions in here next to saute for a few minutes. And then add our garlic and we'll get it started. We'll get it going. So next we have our onions. So we still have it on saute. I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil. One thing about a stainless steel pot is that it does start to stick a lot. So you might notice if you're using your pressure cooker and you're like, oh, everything's sticking to the bottom, this is so aggravating. You can add a little bit of extra liquid in there and that will actually help to prevent it from sticking. We are gonna be adding our chicken broth in just a little bit. And then we'll do what's called deglazing, which is where you get all of those tiny bits of food at the bottom of your pan. We'll get all of that kind of scooped up and into our mix, and that way it'll give it a really nice, tasty flavor as well. So we're just gonna let this go for about 2 minutes or so. And it's smelling really good. I love using the pressure cooker because you have so many features all in one. I don't have to dirty up a whole bunch of dishes in my kitchen. I don't have to use something to saute on the stovetop. I can do everything right in this one pot. And so it's really nice that you have that easy cleanup afterwards. And there are a lot of different resources out there. I know InstantPot is definitely one of the more common brands that we hear a lot more frequently. But I actually have one that's called a Melty Multi-Pot that we use here at the Extension office. And it works really great. It's just as nice as the InstantPot. I have a Ninja Foodie at home, which they have those that have the air fryer and the InstantPot feature all in one. So you don't have to think of just the InstantPot is the brand, but the actual technique is called electric pressure cooking. All right, so we are gonna add in our garlic next. Y'all know I love garlic. So I'm actually gonna use my little garlic press here. I got this from the dollar store a really long time ago and it still works great. So if you don't have a garlic press and you love to use garlic, check out the dollar store. They have some fancier ones. You can find this at Walmart or any of those other places as well, but love a good deal. And I like to put the entire rest of the garlic all in together. So we're just helping this get nice and fragrant in our pot. Does take a little bit of hand strength, so if you have any arthritis in your hands or anything like that, chopping might be a better option for you. But there's all different kinds of tools out there now for garlic. I have one that's from Pampered Chef that's it's a twist. So you actually just put your cloves and twist it and it works great. So we'll let that get fragrant. And now we're gonna go ahead and add in our rice. So we are using, this is called, I hopefully I'm saying this right, arborio rice, and it's an Italian rice. The reason why we use this in risotto, so this is a risotto dish, is it has more of that, you know, risotto has like a creaminess to it that you get. This rice actually puts that out whenever it's cooking. So it helps to give the creaminess that we enjoy in a risotto dish. So we're using a cup of this. I'm actually just gonna use all of this because why not, right? Don't wanna save just a little bit left. So we're just gonna cook that up as well, get it a little bit brown, mix it in with our onions and with our garlic so that it'll get nice and flavorful. And you'll start to see that rice get a little bit more translucent as it cooks. So it's just gonna cook for a few minutes, and we're just scraping the bottom of that pan to get all of the nice crunchy stuff that's kind of happening at the bottom into the rest of our dish. While that's going, we'll get our chicken broth. So we need 2 cups of this. You wanna opt for the unsalted, just because you wanna choose that lower sodium option. If you can't find unsalted, the reduced sodium is good as well. We're using 2 cups of this. You can hear it sizzling over here. So I'm just gonna do that technique I mentioned earlier, the deglazing. So I'm just gonna start kind of trying to push any of the bits at the bottom of the pan into our mixture. And then we're gonna add in our chicken. And when you come back, we're gonna get it started to pressure cook.
Sweetie, will you turn that down, please?
Keep life exciting, even when it's not. Watch TV everywhere from Star Communications.
All right, so everything is in our Instant Pot now. So we're gonna go ahead and close our lid. Now, on the front of your pressure cooker, you will see it says open, close, and it has an arrow in between. Most of them have this feature so that you align the arrows together. I have some participants in class that just cannot get the lid to work quite right. So aligning those arrows is key. And so we're just gonna turn it on, make sure that your valve is on sealing. So there is a sealing and a venting feature, and we wanna make sure that it's sealing, that way the pressure can build. You vent to let all the air out. So we want to start off with keeping it sealed so that it will start to build that pressure, and then we'll begin pressure cooking. We're gonna turn it on for 5 minutes, and we will just let it go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and chop up our parsley next. That way we will have that done. So that's telling you, hey, I'm on. And so we're gonna chop this up. We just need about 2 tablespoons of parsley. I've kind of already got the leaves ready. If you ever have any really long stems, so for this one, you would just pick the leaves and kind of get rid of that longer stem. But if you've got parsley that's, let me find a nice one. This one's like the entire leaf here. That's fine, you can chop all of that up. The stems of parsley are not really sturdy, so the good thing about those is that if you get them in your food, it doesn't taste funny. So something like thyme or like rosemary is gonna be a little bit more of a sturdy stem, and that is you're gonna bite into it and you're gonna feel like you have a little piece of stick in your food. So that's not very tasty, right? So those you do wanna make sure you remove the herb completely from the stem. But for something that is gonna be not quite as sturdy, perfectly okay to include the stems. That would be parsley, cilantro, both of those. It's okay if you get a little stem in there. We only need about 2 tablespoons, so I'm not gonna do all of this, but we will be adding this at the end. The other thing that we did just a little bit differently, I could not find frozen artichokes, so our recipe called for artichokes that were frozen. Could not find those in our grocery store, so I just got the canned artichokes. And typically you would add the frozen with the rest of your ingredients here in the electric pressure cooker and let it cook for 5 minutes all together. Since our artichokes are already soft and cooked through because they were canned, we're gonna add those in at the end. So that is the one thing that we're doing just a little bit differently today. All right, so that's building pressure. We're gonna move on over to our salad over here, and this is our Med House salad. So we're gonna transition, and this is a very quick, easy recipe. You start off with 2 heads of romaine lettuce, and I just bought the bags because actually we didn't have any heads of romaine at our grocery store. Perfectly okay, you do what you have with what you've got. So you could also use a different type of lettuce if you prefer, but I went ahead and bought the romaine in the bag. Less for me to deal with, and so it was just a lot easier. So I did two of those, 2 bags, and then I also went ahead and let that kind of, or chopped it up a little bit more, just so it would be fully into smaller pieces and chopped up. We like a chopped salad in our house just because it's easier to eat. So we're gonna move on to our dressing. This is super easy. I'm gonna move that out of the way just a little bit. So we're gonna do our dressing, and all we need is a little bit of olive oil, which I have over here. Let me grab that. So we need 1/3 cup of olive oil. I think I've just got exactly enough here. I've got another container to the side, but this will be absolutely perfect. So we're just gonna add that olive oil. And then we're gonna add a little bit of red wine vinegar. And you need 5 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, so kind of a lot. We talk about with our dressings, you wanna start off with your oil, so any type of oil that you prefer. And then you add a acid, which in this case would be our vinegar. You could do lemon juice. You could do a different type of vinegar. You could do balsamic. And then you add your herbs or your seasoning. So super simple to make your own dressing. We're gonna add a tablespoon of mayonnaise. And this is that olive oil mayonnaise so that we are cutting back on that saturated fat. Olive oil is an unsaturated fat, so it is a healthier option for us. And then we are going to add in sugar. Now I have Splenda here, and actually there are, in each packet, it's about 1/3 teaspoon. So I'm gonna add all 3. We're doing a teaspoon of sugar. And then we just have our oregano. And we need 2 teaspoons of this. All right, shake all that up, and you've got your dressing all made. So I'm gonna shake this up. We will see you back in just a second.
After completing my contract, I still have to buy out of it? Come on. Here's your sign.
Switch to the sign that's keeping homes secure and customers happy all over the area. Security from Star Communications. We pride ourselves on fair pricing and quick, friendly service every time.
Somebody try to break into this place?
Security from Star Communications.
All right, so our dressing is done. You can see it's nice and mixed together. It has a little bit of a pinkish tint from that red wine vinegar, but it's really pretty. And this is just your house dressing. So everybody has kind of their own signature house dressing. This is one of our Mediterranean house dressings. So we went ahead and shook that up. A mason jar works great for this. They do sell some cute little bottles that you could make your own dressings. I've even seen some with recipes on the actual bottle to show you where to fill it up at. But I love a mason jar, and I think it looks just as cute in a mason jar as it would a fancy little bottle. So I'm gonna skip dressing it right now, but you would typically dress it, toss it all together. You can hear our Instant Pot has went off, so we're gonna go to that in just a second. We're gonna add in our Romano cheese. This is actually a Parmesan and Romano blend because I could not find just Romano, but that's perfectly fine. And then we have some little pepperoncinis here. And then you're just gonna toss that all together. And like I said, you would throw your dressing in here as well, toss that all together. I'm making a mess. It's not good unless it's messy. And your salad is done. So this is just a nice, simple salad that you could have when you don't have a whole lot of time. You don't have to chop a whole bunch of stuff. It's very simple, very easy, and very tasty. So we're gonna move over to our Instant Pot. Now, for this recipe, we are going to quick release. So 2 different ways you could do this. You could use the back of a spoon to vent it. I'm okay with using my finger, but a lot of people that scares them, especially if they're not familiar with a pressure cooker, they haven't used a pressure cooker before. This part it might scare you the first time. I've had class participants that jump back or they just got really freaked out. This is very hot steam, so you need to be very careful. Make sure that we are not putting our hand over it or anything like that. Because it's hot, it can burn you. So I went ahead and cut my pressure cooker completely off, so I just pressed that cancel button here. And that way it went ahead and shut it off. There's no heat powering to it. And that way the pressure's not gonna continue to build. There is another way to release pressure, which is what we call natural release. And so this is called our quick release feature, where you quickly release all of the steam from inside so that it will stop cooking. Natural release is where all of that steam is going to naturally kind of leave the pot. Takes a little bit longer. It takes about 10 minutes or so for the natural release to quit. And that can add to your time, because it does also take time to build the pressure. So with our natural release, you want to do that with certain things that it might just need a little bit longer to cook. So maybe a larger piece of meat, if you had a roast or something like that, that's going to take longer to cook, you might lean towards that natural release option. I just recommend using a recipe for these. So a lot of our recipes, I have a cookbook from the American Heart Association that I mentioned, and that is great. It tells you exactly what to do. So follow that, follow your manual. You do get a manual that's included with your pressure cooker. So you can still see some of that steam is coming out. So we want to wait till it's completely gone. We have this little red knob up here, and that red knob is going to tell you when all the pressure is out. So it pops up when the pressure is built. Once the pressure is done leaving, it will pop down. So we want to wait till it's completely popped down. There's actually a safety feature here where you can't even open this. So I'm trying, it won't budge. It's locked, it will not let you open it if there's pressure built in your pressure cooker. So once that is done, once all of the steam has released out, that will pop down. Give it another minute or so, and then you're gonna try to open it. Always open it away from your face, because again, there's hot steam in there. It still can come towards your face and burn you. There we go. We still see some steam coming out, so again, we're gonna give it just another minute. And now we can open it safely. So you, again, away from your face. Told you guys, hot steam. I'm gonna open it that way. So we're just gonna actually remove our chicken next, and I'm gonna steal my salad tongs. I had my other ones earlier that we put in the kitchen, or in the sink. And my chicken's already falling apart, so it's really nicely done here. We're just gonna move some of that chicken out, stir it all up. We're gonna add in our artichoke, add in our peas, and then we're gonna add in our parsley and cheese. And it will be done. This is, like I said before, one of my favorite recipes that we do. So we have a cup of peas. These were frozen. They've kind of thawed out a little bit, so you wanna let them thaw some. You could use fresh peas. I prefer frozen or fresh just because I think it has better flavor. And then the last thing is I'm adding our Parmesan. And we're just gonna stir all of that together. And if you want to, you could definitely chop up those artichokes further if you need to. I think it's pretty good for us here. But you just mix it all, and then we're going to add in our chicken. I like it to be mixed all together, so you could remove the chicken, serve it separately if you'd like. One great thing about the Instant Pot, I feel like every time I've cooked meat in the Instant Pot, it is so juicy and tender every single time. So even if I've overcooked my chicken, it's never dry. It just starts to fall apart a little bit more and becomes more of a pulled chicken. And then our last feature, we're gonna throw in our parsley, and it is done. So if you are interested in learning more about electric pressure cookers and how to use those, maybe you got one as a Christmas gift, it's still in the box. I know that can happen. You're just like, I just don't wanna mess with that today. It's gonna take me forever to learn how to use it. It's very simple. You can sign up for our workshops. We do have virtual workshops right now, and as I said, we have one going on this October. So check our website for that and sign up. It's completely free. And I hope you guys enjoyed these recipes. We'll see you back next time.